State's most watched news starts now.
Remains found during the search for Athena Brownfield have been positively identified as those of the 4-year-old. This is your KOAM News Update. I'm Jalen Banks. Athena was reported missing on January 10th after her sister was found alone by a postal carrier in Cyril, Oklahoma. A funeral was held for Athena this week, but Oklahoma's chief medical examiner just announced a positive confirmation last night. Athena's 2 caretakers have been charged in the case. Ivan Adams charged with murder and child neglect, and Alicia Adams faces 2 counts of child neglect. Court documents show Alicia Adams claims to have witnessed Ivan severely beat Athena on Christmas and leave with her body. In October of 2022, divers from KISS rebreathers explored Roaring River in Cassville, Missouri in teams of 2. Unfortunately, one of the divers, Eric Hahn, drowned during one of the expeditions. KOAM received a copy of the accident report from Public Records. An expert from the National Speleological Society explained that Hahn had a seizure underwater due to the oxygen toxicity.
The oxygen content in the tank attached was definitely, or in the bailout that is also used for feeding that rebreather, was definitely too high. So that would have been a human error, basically.
KOAM reached out to KISS Rebreathers dive team for a comment, but we have not received a response. Now we move to weather, and Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us.
Well, it actually turned out to be a pretty nice Friday for us today, and the evening hours look pretty good. We're going to slide back through the 40s, eventually down to about 37, but the winds are really going to increase across the region. We have pretty much clear skies, so not a whole bunch is going on, but here's our next storm system out across the northern parts of the Rockies, and that will start to affect us as we head into the weekend. So let's step through time. We're going to stop tomorrow morning about 7 a.m. Very strong southerly winds, upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Look at the clouds. They increase through the day. Here's the noon hour. We're into lower 50s, and most of us go mid 50s during the afternoon. So here's your day planner for you. We're going to start at 42, 53 by noon. High temp at 55. But look at these winds, southerly winds at about 20 to 30. You can also see a couple little showers starting to pop up as we go into the evening hours. Let's go through tomorrow night. Scattered showers, very strong Arctic front drops in. So you see a little bit of pink, and that's going to be a little bit of freezing drizzle. So we do need to watch that as we get into Sunday morning. You can see little spotty areas of freezing drizzle the first half of the day on Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon, mainly just cloudy skies, but it's going to turn significantly colder as we go into Sunday. Look at the winds. So by morning, winds gusting near 40, by the afternoon, pushing 50, and then once we get the front through tomorrow night, then we get the northerly winds, and that's going to give us a pretty low wind chill. So wind chill factors by Sunday morning, single digits to near 10, so super cold, and they stay in the teens all day long on Sunday. Here's your 7-day forecast. 55 tomorrow. That wintry mix, only 33 on Sunday. And look at this, chances for a wintry mix Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as we get weak little systems that are going to be pushing through. Of course, we're going to have more on this tonight on KOAM News at 9 and 10. Jalen?
Some Pittsburgh students got a lesson on business. 4th grade students at Lakeside Elementary hosted Just Imagine Kansas 2023. It was the culmination of a project where students had to research businesses, create booths representing those businesses, and sell items based on that research. All of the booths were set up today at a creative miniature city.
It's kind of like supervisor, go around, help people. If like Pizza Hut, normally they have long lines like the teacher said, so help out them, orders, and other stuff.
This is the 8th year of the Just Imagine Kansas project. Some police officers in Joplin were recognized for their accomplishments as they have completed their training requirements. Officials say this event happens usually 2 to 3 times a year, depending on the group of trainees that complete 16 weeks of field training. One of the special parts about the day was officers' family members joining the event at the public safety training facility, pinning badges.
They come up and they actually take the badge, will pin it on their loved one, just recognizing their accomplishments, because families, they go through a lot being married or related to a police officer, and so they're part of it as well too, and we allow them that opportunity to pin the badge on their loved one.
3 officers joined the force and 1 was promoted. Scientists are turning rats into detectives. They are being trained to sniff out and detect tuberculosis, an infectious killer that takes more than 1 million lives a year. Dan Lieberman reports.
Scientists in Tanzania are using these giant pouched rats to sniff out tuberculosis, thanks to their superior sense of smell.
These are special cells within the lining of our nasal passages which pick up on scents. Rats tend to have 50% of the lining covered by the scent receptors, while humans only have about 5% of the lining covered with scent receptors.
It's these receptors that enable the rats to detect scents faster, with the potential to save lives.
The conventional laboratory techniques can take anywhere from 2 hours to even 14 days per sample, while the rats would be able to accomplish testing of 50 samples within 2 hours.
And researchers say the rats are accurate. Their studies show the animals' smell test can be even more accurate than standard bacteria culture tests. In addition, rats can detect TB in people living with HIV.
They can easily identify tuberculosis in people living with HIV, keeping in mind that these people living with HIV, it's very difficult to be diagnosed by the standard test.
Tuberculosis killed nearly 200,000 people living with HIV in 2021. Scientists hope the World Health Organization approves their method of TB testing soon. Dan Lieberman, CBS News, New York.
Researchers say the accuracy of the rat test compared to culture test was 75%, and their goal is 90%. And that's it for our news update. Be sure to tune in to the KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14, and for more news on KOAM News at 10. We'll see you then.